What's going on, YouTube? This your boy H-Town Jeff. What's going on, y'all? How everybody's doing? How hope everything's going okay and going well. What's going on first and foremost to all my subscribers? Hope everything's good. I do want to have a conversation today. I think this conversation is long overdue, and I think we need to really talk about it. To the police department out in Connecticut, what is going on with this sister? Miss Lauren Smith Fields, this wonderful, beautiful sister who lost her life, unfortunately, in the most mysterious, horrific way. But here I have an article, y'all, I'm going to read and break down into what happened, some of the details the police department was able to find, some of the discrepancies, some of the lost information or whatnot. Okay, it says here, more than a month and a half after the death of Lauren Smith Fields, the 23-year-old college student who died in her Bridgeport, Connecticut apartment after meeting up with an older man. So this sister met up with an older guy, right? Earlier that evening, Bridgeport police announced Tuesday that they are opening a criminal investigation into her death. Darnell Crossland, the attorney for Smith Fields' family, confirmed to Yahoo News. It's been a very emotional roller coaster for the family, Crossland said. This latest development comes just a day after the Connecticut Office of the Chief Medical Examiner released Smith Fields' autopsy results, saying she died from an overdose of fentanyl. Combined with prescription medication and alcohol, her death has been ruled an accident, the office told Yahoo News. It says it breaks the family's heart, Crossland said, noting that they say Smith Fields didn't do drugs. Big, profound statement right there. That's already the biggest strike. From what these reports are saying is that she had an accidental, if you want to say Molly fentanyl overdose. She had an overdose, okay? This is what the claims are. Now, mind you, ladies and gentlemen, this sister has been gone for some weeks. They're just now actually doing the diving in, the careful investigation into the case. And I truly believe the reason why this case is starting to get, if you want to say global play, or if you want to say media play, is because there's been an uproar in the black community. We want to know what happened. How did a beautiful young sister like this lose her life after meeting they're not gonna say, but she met with a Caucasian male. Ladies and gentlemen, she met with a Caucasian male, a much older man. And I truly believe, y'all, this story goes way deeper than what is being promoted in the media. They're only telling us what we can handle as of right now, right? It says, it breaks the family's heart, Crossland, noting that Smith didn't do drugs, rarely drank liquor, and regularly went to the gym. And if you see this sister, she doesn't look like she drinks often. You could tell the sisters that drink. You could tell the sisters that smoke weed or do heavy drugs. It presents in their face. But she has a very natural glow here, a very beautiful woman, 23 years of age. The question is less what toxics were in her body, but how they got there. It says, for many, the news provides some answers into Smithfield's death, but her family remains frustrated by the city's handling of the case thus far. Smith Fields, who was black, has not been given the investigation she deserves, the family feels. They have no respect for us, Smith Fields' mother, Chantel Fields, told Yahoo News earlier this month. You could tell the way they treated us. Meanwhile, the man she was found, who is white, has not been charged, ladies and gentlemen, detained or fully investigated, according to the family's attorney. The fact that the police failed to investigate the man she was found with as a person of interest leaves us with more questions than answers, said Crossland, her mother. And I want to say, I feel so much anger. This guys, I'm trying to let y'all know, we are fed up. The black community, we're at end with all these cases that come up where there's constant. Look what just happened, y'all, with Aubrey Ahmaud. They had these brothers out of jail for weeks before they had to be tossed back in jail once the full information and evidence and detail came out that Aubrey was a absolute zero threat to those gentlemen with the guns. If it hadn't been for phones, recordings, if it hadn't been for Aubrey blatantly running in the middle of the street, maybe, who knows what would have happened to these gentlemen that are now locked up for the rest of their lives. And they need to do more and more research. Phones need to be, you name it, phone satellites need to be tapped in, because you do have, ladies and gentlemen, look what happened with the Aubrey Armand case. You had a district attorney judge who told the officers, who told the men who had apprehended the father and son to not arrest them, to not, they should not be held accountable. They should actually be let go. You had this happen just a few years ago back at the Aubrey. It took 2 years, you guys, for this case to finally hit light, for these people to finally understand that you are not going to just brutally murder minorities in this country and not be held accountable. This is what's really going on, ladies and gentlemen. And I hate to get off topic a little bit, but this is what's really going on in this country is African Americans, minorities are being brutally slayed. And somehow, depending on the offender or the suspect, depending on the status, or if you want to say race of the suspect, that suspect could be held to a certain level or degree of non-tribulation or non-arrest, if you want to say. So let me keep reading here. I'm sorry, y'all. I got a little off topic. It says here, the fact that the police failed to investigate the man she was found with as a person interest leaves us with more questions than answers in Crossland. Bridgeport, Connecticut, most populous city with a diverse population of more than 145,000 people, is no stranger to controversy, even scandal. Federal authorities have arrested 5 Bridgeport officials in the last 2 years. You hear this? So this Connecticut is not unfamiliar with strange, corrupt cases going through their offices and through their law firms. It's not a strange thing. In 2020, the city's police chief, Armando Perez, a close friend of Mayor Joe Ganim, was charged with rigging his own hiring process to ensure he became the city's top cop. Who does this? How does this? You ask yourself, who are these elected officials? Who are these people hiring and putting these elected officials in? What is going on? It says, to ensure he became the city's top cop, he was sentenced to a year in jail. Ladies and gentlemen, I can only imagine if a minority cop in the African American community was quote unquote rigging his hiring process. He wouldn't do a year in jail, ladies and gentlemen. He would be in prison. He would be in prison. There is no such thing as being a minority and rigging your own hiring process in the justice system and doing 1 year in jail. That is not happening. Ganim also previously spent nearly 7 years in prison after being convicted of felony charges that included extortion, bribery, racketeering while he was mayor of Bridgeport in the early 2000s. He went on to mount a comeback campaign for mayor. And here we have him here. This is the Joe Ganim here. Ganim noting the pain that Smithfield's family has endured the last weeks on Monday, said the city official of Internal Affairs, which will conduct a full and fair investigation into the police handling of her death. There is no tolerance for anything less than respect and sensitivity for family members and their loss, Ganim said in a statement. Therefore, I will work with the chief of police to make appropriate changes in Bridgeport now. Our department's policies and practicing regarding notifying family members of death. Ladies and gentlemen, this is just, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't really care about this article of how they're trying to promote it. For y'all YouTube, I'm reading it for y'all because I want y'all to have an idea. But even reading this article, guys, it's pissing me off. I'm not going to lie to you. It's really pissing me off because it proves that no matter where minorities are in any state, there's still going to be some level of injustice, of corruption going on. I want to say I send my condolences to the Smithfields family. I'm sorry for your sister, for your daughter's death. She should not have lost her life by some stranger online. But I do have a follow-up video in reference into conduct. And I feel like we as a community, as Black people, we need to understand that this is not the time to be against each other, at odds with each other, have any vitriol, venom. Guys, we are in the last days. And if we're still caught up into racial division, if we're still caught up into I hate my own Black men or I hate my own Black women, and we're choosing to go to these extremes and go to the other side where the grass isn't greener, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have more and more sad, unfortunate deaths like Miss Lauren Smith-Fields, this beautiful young sister who lost her life, that I truly believe who was murdered. Y'all like and subscribe about a video, man. I'm sorry again for this sister's loss. Y'all tell me how y'all feel. All right.